Hey, I'm Brendan Moran.
And I'm Ruby Lopez, and welcome to Creek Currents.
This month, we're going to check out the Bedford Gallery to see their new exhibit that's about the intersection of art and nature. Plus, I get a chance to check out some nature myself when I visit the Ruth Bancroft Garden.
But first, I had a chance to visit the Walnut Creek Senior Center, and I think you'd be surprised. There is a lot more activity happening at this activity center than you might think. Hi everybody, today we're at the Civic Park Community Center and we're chatting with Kathy Ramey. Now you are the program coordinator for the Walnut Creek Senior Program, right?
That's correct, absolutely.
And there is a lot of activity happening here. Talk to us about some of the activities that go on here.
We are very busy at the Walnut Creek Senior Program. We have activities for an age span of 50 to 100. So we have lots of members, we have all kinds of exciting programs, and as I like to tell people when they say, what do you do there? I tell them we have fun. And we have a varied program. It's really exciting. People they can hike, they can bike, they can ski, they can take Zumba lessons, they can come and be artistic, they can sing, they can just hang out with their friends. And when you are in younger adulthood or you're younger middle age, you have work or school where you meet other adults, but once you become an older middle-aged person or in later life, then this is the opportunity. So I see this as just another option for people to make social connections.
Now you mentioned a lot of things, hiking, biking, everything. Now, so if it doesn't happen here at Civic Park, then you're actually coordinating it and they are meeting up and they're going everywhere.
Absolutely, right? And the wonderful part is that we have 250 volunteers that assist the staff here, and they will lead activities like our cycling group, which goes off-site every Thursday morning. We have two hiking groups actually, one that does a local Walnut Creek walk and another one that takes off for the hills, for the mountains. They have a great time.
Absolutely. Now what about some of the activities that happen here at Civic Park in the community center?
We're open every day, Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
Okay.
People can come down. There's a lunch program. Some people use us like a restaurant. They come to do other activities. They come in and have lunch. We have people that come and do arts and crafts activities. That actually is a fundraising effort. So the women will work all year long, and then in November, they have a large fundraising sale so that they raise money for the activities here. People can come down and watch movies. They can come down for the exercise classes. They can come down and play pinochle or bridge. And actually on Thursdays we have a really fun social bingo program. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. And it's really nice. If you're a very active 80-year-old and you want more active activities, they're available. If you're somebody in your 50s or 60s and the more active is not for you, then there are opportunities to come and connect with people in appropriate programs.
You just said more things, and I think any of us probably do more than I do, probably more than you do. Now, I love bingo. You said activities from 50 to 100. Can I come play bingo though?
You are more than welcome to come and play bingo with us. That would be great.
Now this sounds like a lot of fun. So what does it take for people to get involved?
It's really easy. You just come on down to the park, Civic Park, come into the community center. If you want to join the club, it's a $12 annual fee. It goes from January to December. You'll get a newsletter every month listing all of the activities, the drop-in programs, the special events, all of the resources that are available. It's pretty comprehensive. So it's a very nominal fee for people to join the program. However, if you are unable to do that, then you're more than welcome to come down to the program and check out the classes and participate in the drop-in activities. And it's for the community at large. You do not have to be a Walnut Creek resident to participate.
That's fantastic. So lots of fun things happening here. Such an affordable way to get involved. But what if you have a hard time getting here? What do you do then?
We've got that solved for you. We have an all-volunteer transportation program. It consists of a minivan, and you call in the day before, you ask for a ride. Our drivers are scheduled to come door to door, pick you up, deliver you to the center, deliver you actually to anywhere in the boundaries, city limits of Walnut Creek. We'll schedule you for a pickup and we'll bring you home.
Great. Well, Kathy, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think we're going to have some fun in there now.
I think so.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm here with my new friend, Shirley Walker. Now, Shirley made this amazing scarf here, right?
Yes.
Which I love, and there's a lot more of this going on here as well. But how long has you been a part of this program?
I've been here since 2001. Well, you know what? I came here after my husband passed away, and I didn't want to stay home and have pity parties, so I came down here, and they wanted to volunteer.
Yeah. He said, I'm your gal.
When I came here, I couldn't do anything. They just teach each other, we help each other, and we have no strangers here.
That's great. Now, how important is it, do you think, to have a program like this?
You know, I think it's really important because people who need people can come down here.
Yeah.
We have people that come in and they feel so comfortable. I mean, we're really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, just ask us. We are really nice down here, and we make people feel welcome. It's just a fun place.
And you can come down here and learn to knit.
Yes, we do. We help people out, and people who have problems, they come in. And usually when they come in, they stay.
Yeah, that's true. And then 11 years later, they're still here, right?
Still here knitting, a little older and wiser.
Good. Now, how is this looking?
You're looking good. You're looking good.
All right.
See, you're a knitter now.
I am a knitter now, thanks to Shirley.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, I had a great time visiting the Walnut Creek Senior Program here at Civic Park. There's just lots going on, crafts, Zumba, you name it. Now, if you'd like some more information on how you can get involved, maybe you'd like to stop on by and participate, you can visit their website at walnut-creek.org/seniors. Now, in addition to all the activities listed on the Senior Program website, you can also find out more information about their special Halloween bingo at the end of this month.
And another great happening is the Captured exhibit that's happening at the Bedford Gallery. So let's take a look at some of the great art that has everyone captivated.
This exhibition that's at the Bedford now is called Captured, Specimens in Contemporary Art. And it explores the creative and unexpected dialogues that occur at the intersection of art and scientific exploration. When I first started to think about this idea of specimens as a concept for a show, I knew it would be a good one because we humans, we have a propensity for collecting, for classifying. And artists are tapping into this idea. They're asking the question, what is a specimen? Why is it important? And most importantly, how can it be used in your artwork? This exhibition Captured includes 26 artists from around the United States and beyond, all working in a broad range of media. Some are using traditional studio media, painting, photography, printmaking, video, while others are using media that you might find in a scientific lab. About half the artists' work are based in science and nature. And a good example is Susan Middleton, who has really spent her life, for 30 years now, she's been creating beautiful, elegant portraits of specimens, whether they're endangered or extinct or specimens from a museum. Josie Islin and Stephen Galloway also creating specimens. They're larger than life. You can walk right into these photographs practically. It's usually one single specimen on a field of white, but it allows for you to see the details, the texture, the veins, the color, the light of a specimen that you would never be able to see if you saw it on the floor of a forest or the sand out near the ocean. There are also artists on the flip side who are working with completely fictive specimens that they've created themselves. And a great example is Michael McConnell, who's using the taxidermied foam form, which he then covers in a patchwork of fur that he's harvested from plush animals. And they're lovely, humorous, poetic narratives. Another good example is Danielle Schnelliger, who has spent the last 5 years of her life creating an installation that portrays the life of amateur explorer Marcus Kelly, Marcus Kelly is fictive character from the mid-19th century, but when you enter the tent that Danielle has pitched in the middle of the Bedford Gallery, you enter another world. It's a magical place and it's beautifully constructed. There are a number of artists that are amalgams or that are hybrid. They have both fact and fiction in their work, and a great example is Jo Whaley. Jo uses vintage photographs and she's coupling them with the wings of butterflies and moths. She creates a very surreal, ethereal, mysterious image. Another good example of someone who's using both fact and fiction in their work is Jennifer Bain. She starts, the core of her work are hyperreal botanical illustrations. But at some point in time, Jennifer veers off and begins to create plant life and insects and birds that take on a completely fictive perspective. All of the artists in this exhibition captured open our eyes to so many wonderful discoveries and ideas about nature. So when our community comes to visit Captured, it is my hope that they'll take some time and engage and explore and make some discoveries with these wonderful, innovative, conceptual projects that this exhibition is comprised of.
Now, also coming up at the Bedford Gallery on Sunday, November 4th, is their annual Craft Fest. Now, this is a great place to find handmade jewelry, crafts, and artisan foods. If you'd like some more information, you can visit their website.
Another place showing off some local beauty is the Ruth Bancroft Garden, and I recently paid a visit to this piece of paradise. Today I'm at the Ruth Bancroft Garden. Did you know this is a public garden that's open 7 days a week? Come on, let's get a tour. Hey Brian.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, glad you could make it out to the Bancroft Garden. We're kind of a unique destination in Walnut Creek, not quite like anything else.
You should put that on your business cards. So this is the front of the garden, right?
Yes, this is always the original entrance to the garden. We now have a second entrance since we put in the office on the other side of the garden. But this is the place that was always the entrance to the garden from the beginning.
How big is the garden right now?
3.5 acres.
But it was much bigger before, right? Before it ever became a garden. This was all like one big farm, right?
Yeah, it was a huge farm.
Could you tell me about it?
Yeah, they were growing walnuts and pears. And the pears were actually exported to the East Coast and to Europe, so they were very highly regarded pears. And finally it came down to the point where the land was rezoned to residential from agricultural, and so all the orchards were sold off, and the Bancrofts wound up with an 11-acre piece, and this 3.5 acres is a part of that.
And Ruth Bancroft was really the driving force behind this whole garden, right?
Absolutely.
Could you tell me about her?
Yeah, she was raised in Berkeley, and she always was interested in gardening, so that's not a new thing. But succulents was a later interest. She had an iris garden, she had a rose garden, she had an herb garden, and she began in the 60s getting interested in succulents and collecting them, but didn't have a place to put them. And finally, this 3.5 acres here was opened up when walnut trees that were still here left over from the farm were removed, and that gave her a space to plant her succulents, and she started in a big way in 1972.
Can we go see some?
Yeah, we could.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Well, Brian, you found a nice cool spot for me. Thank you.
Yeah, here at the middle of the garden, there's a pool. Ruth liked the idea of having a cool water feature at the middle of the garden to contrast with all the drier succulents around the rest of the garden. And we do really like this space because in the heat of the day, this is a nice place to come. There's water lilies growing in there and some water irises. And there's goldfish in there too. The goldfish sometimes fall prey to egrets, which come in and pick at them, but there's always some that escape.
And this has been here since the garden was put in.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of grown up
around it, right?
Yes, it has. Yeah, this pinyon pine here was a little 2-foot tall tree when it was put in, and now it's grown into a good sized one. And these palms were quite tiny in the beginning, so everything's grown, and now the pond feels more enclosed instead of wide open like it was in the beginning.
You've grown up around here too, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been here for 32 years at the garden, quite a long time.
And it did not look like this when you first started here, did it?
No, it was Ruth's private garden at that point, and not yet a public garden, and I was in charge of taking care of the plants in the greenhouse. So when we became a nonprofit in the early 90s, then I started taking on more roles in the garden, and I'm the curator at the garden.
Okay. Well, should we press on?
Yeah, we should.
All right, this way.
All right.
So we are still in the California native section, right?
Yeah, this is called St. Catherine's lace, one of the native California buckwheats, actually an exceptionally large one, bigger than most of the buckwheats. And it has a long blooming season in the summertime. You can see it's quite attractive to bees. They're busy here gathering their pollen. And this one has a beautiful whitened felty leaf, and then these big umbrellas of white flowers in the summertime. A very nice California native plant.
So we found the cacti.
Yeah, we did. You know, there's a lot of kinds of cacti. These ones are called barrel cacti because they're a nice big stout barrel form. And then there's the little globular cacti like this one here. And then you have the columnar cacti like a saguaro that grow into erect columns. And then you have the prickly pears, and that's a whole different kind of cactus, like these ones over here, that have pads. People oftentimes will mistake those pads for leaves, but they're not leaves, they're stem segments actually.
And they shouldn't touch them because they're going to learn a lesson, right?
Yes. They have little detachable, tiny spines that are very irritating, so you definitely don't want to touch those. They're in the middle of the bed for a good reason.
Yeah, no problem there. Tell me about this one.
This is a barrel cactus that comes from Mexico, and we see here the flowers, which will open once the sun gets on them. And these yellow things look like little pineapples on the outside.
They look exactly
Those are the fruits from last year's flowering, so they've been on the plant for a whole year developing the fruits. Inside are little black seeds, and you could grow new ones from those.
Okay, so these are agaves?
Yeah, century plants is the common name for agaves.
This one looks dead.
And that's right. An agave, rather than blooming every year, like something like an aloe, saves up its energy and only blooms once at the end of its life. So here's a plant that's actively growing. That's the normal appearance of it. And then when that reaches maturity, it'll do just what this one did last year. It'll send up a giant telephone pole of a flower stalk. Each one of those clusters, it's now seed pods, would have been yellow flowers when it was open, and then those will develop into the seed pods, and the seeds come raining down afterwards, and that's how the next generation gets going.
So this is the nursery.
Yes, this is where we propagate the plants that we offer for our plant sales. We have actually plants for sale all the time, but we have 3 big sale events in the spring, summer, and fall when we have a very large sale, and a lot of people come here for those.
I'll bet. And these people are diligently working to get them ready?
Yes, we have a large corps of volunteers, and that's really necessary because we couldn't do this just on our staff. We have to rely on a lot of volunteers to help us out.
So you're looking for volunteers, write that down.
Yeah, yeah.
And you also have events here, right?
Yeah, the plant sales are one thing. Then we have sunset socials, we have music events, we have an annual dinner, we have seminars and kids tours, a lot of things. There's a lot of aspects to running this garden, both educational things and fun things, like we have a fruit tasting tour where you go around and sample the different fruits on the prickly pears and so forth.
I want to come back for that.
All right, well that's in October, so.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you then.
All right.
Thanks very much, Brian.
All right.
Okay. Well, I had a great time today at the Ruth Bancroft Garden. Remember, it's open 7 days a week. If you want to find out what's happening, just go to their website at ruthbancroftgarden.org.
Now, the Ruth Bancroft Garden has some great events happening this month. Go to their website, find out all about the fruit tasting tour and even the Oktoberfest celebration.
And speaking of celebrations, the Walnut Creek Library is also celebrating the opening of their new cafe. The cafe is now serving up fresh pastries and Pete's coffee.
Head on over there, grab a cup of joe and maybe even a good book. And we'll see you next time on Creek Currents.